Today, I'm going to teach you a quick and easy way to get rid of negative thoughts and worry. First of all, 3 things you need to know before we start. That your negative thinking is habitual, it's not by fate, and you learned your negative beliefs somewhere. Like, you're not just born with negative beliefs. The way you change habits such as negative thinking is by replacing it with a new habit. And here's why you think like this. You think like this because you've hypnotized yourself. You hypnotize yourself, it's from other people's beliefs, or just like the environment you're in. And here's the definition of hypnosis so that you can understand that it's legit what's going on. The induction of a state of consciousness in which a person apparently loses the power of voluntary action and is highly responsive to suggestion or direction. Basically, you don't really think for yourself. You start believing other things around you, and that's essentially what happens with negative thinking. A quote that I want to share with you is from the book that inspired me to make this video called Cybernetics. And he says, "It is no exaggeration to say that every human is being hypnotized to some extent, either by ideas that he's uncritically accepted from others or ideas he has repeated to himself or convinced himself are true." You've been hypnotized by yourself because these ideas have breached your subconscious mind. Like, it basically makes it true in your self-image. So you alter your self-image because negative thoughts go to your subconscious mind because you're repeating over and over, and it starts to believe itself and believe these thoughts. So you see it in a lens of what the thoughts were. And now it's time to teach you how you can stop your negative thoughts and worry. And this is just one method. It's not going to work for everybody. It should work for most people, at least at first. Yet you just have to constantly get yourself on it. And this is speaking from experience. Let's get into it. The way you can stop negative beliefs is by setting a trigger point for them. Whenever you realize you're having a negative thought or like a negative emotion, you need to aggressively think positive. Think positive thoughts, like fill your mind with positivity. And when doing this, negative feelings literally defeated themselves by becoming a sort of bell. That is what Maxwell Maltz says in Cybernetics. It basically acts as a bell. That you create this bell and you create a trigger point for these negative beliefs when they arise. The reason why this works is, in time, worry will defeat itself because it becomes a stimulus for practicing anti-worry. And that is a quote also from the book. Basically, instead of practicing worry, you're practicing anti-worry. So you're practicing the opposite of what you've habitually been doing. This is because you've made worry act as a cue for when you have negative thoughts. Alright, so an example of what I do, when I first read about it, I instantly started picking up on it without even trying to. And so my example was, I would be thinking a negative thought, and then I would think of let's say 3 positive things, and I would say it over and over and over. For example, the most common one I'd tell myself is, my success is inevitable. And that would just help me not feel as anxious about what the next step's going to be, all that stuff, because I'm teaching myself that my success is bound to happen. You literally just attack your mind with aggressively positive affirmations. To end this off, I want to mention another person who has used this in his life. David Seabury, founder of the Centralist School of Psychology, said that the best piece of advice his father ever gave him is to practice aggressive positive imagery. He made this immediately on cue for whenever he thought of a negative thought, he would instantly combat that with a bunch of positive ones. So that's the end of this. It's a little quick thing I wanted to share with you because it worked for me from the get-go. So I do believe it'll work for anybody from the get-go. It's a pretty evergreen idea. See how it goes.